This is live on Newcastle Harbour. Just sitting here chilling out. Thought I'd just do a bit of live streaming. This is the world's busiest coal port, by the way, so you'll probably see a big ship any moment. There's actually one that's going to be coming around this corner over here. But we'll come back to that. Right now, here's a trawler and lots of birds around it. Just cruising through the harbour. Got a ton of fish, of course. And then shortly around this corner, it's going to be a massive ship with tugs. Let's focus on this guy for now. They're obviously throwing all the stuff off the back. Cruising along. You can see all the fish, pelican, all the birds and pelican. At the back there, this trawler's just come from out the mouth, which is over there. And cruising, throwing all the bits off the back. They probably call it recycling, I guess. Pretty nice harbour, and it just keeps getting nicer and nicer. They keep developing it, and it's just a very busy working harbour, Newcastle Harbour. There's trawlers, fishing, and of course mega ships. It's obviously throwing off all the scraps. And really clean water too. Have a look at this. Look how beautiful it is. Somebody just joined. You're about to see a huge ship. This is Newcastle Harbour. This is live on Monday afternoon in Australia. People cruising along, walking. See a lighthouse in the distance. And that there is the busiest coal. That entry there is the biggest. You're about to see a huge ship come around the corner, by the way. If you just bear with me for a second. Around that corner, you might be able to see the tugboat just hiding off to the left. This is Newcastle Harbour. A huge ship is about to come around that corner. And then in the distance, that's the coal ports. This is the busiest coal port in the world. Heaps of activity going on every day. And heaps of fishing too. Like, while that ship's coming around the corner, you're about to see a monster ship with monster tugs. Toby Baker says hello. Really clean water. If you're into fishing, I've sat here and watched some guys just in between those heads pull in some massive fish. That's the entrance to Newcastle Harbour, and through there, it's actually quite shallow, and there's a dredge that goes through there 24/7. Dredges it out, goes out and dumps it. And I don't know if you can see it yet, but around this corner, you're about to have a huge coal ship. It's probably about, I don't know, it looks like it's a couple of minutes away, but the tugs are there. But yeah, this is a working harbour. All the coal from the Hunter Valley ends up here and then onto the ships, probably to China, I guess, most of it. And over there, you'll see a ferry. That's Stockton over there. And it brings all the workers just across here to that little dock over there and into Newcastle, and it's super nice here. I'm totally just sitting here, I don't know, relaxing. It's Monday afternoon in October. It's spring, getting warm. And then, hang on, that ship's coming. You wait till you see the size of this monster come around the corner. These things just load up with coal. T-Blade said, where are you? I'm Newcastle, so it's about 2 hours north of Sydney in Australia. Newcastle Harbour. Just sitting here, goes down there. That's a bit into the sun. But here comes that big ship. If you want to stay for a second, you'll see this big ship. You're in Queensland, right? Yeah, this is really busy down here, and you'll see there's the Stockton ferry cruising across. If you were to drive around from Stockton all the way around to Newcastle in peak hour traffic and take an hour, or just about 3 minutes across to there, to the ferry terminal there, and you're away. So get ready to see a big ship if you can stay online. It's a Stockton ferry. This is Newcastle Harbour. And good fishing. Look how clean the water is. Woohoo. Super clean water. Yeah, oh yeah, you came down through here. It is nice, like it's not busy. And all the buildings, you know, they're not big high buildings. Here comes the big ship, and I just want to be able to show you. These things are just ginormous. And obviously fully loaded with coal. Yeah, you were driving, Toby says you were driving through, what, Newcastle Harbour by the look of it? You're from near Wollongong. Southern Wanderer said hi. G'day. We're watching a massive cruise ship live here in Newcastle Harbour in New South Wales, Australia. And it's coming around the corner. As I was talking about, there's the ferry. See, that just left a couple of minutes ago from Stockton. And that's going to pull in over there. Right, okay everybody, stay watching because here it comes. It's you can see the tugs attached to it. Now, these just go in and out all day. There's so much coal that comes from the Hunter Valley on the train lines down here to Newcastle Port. They load these ships up. As it gets a bit closer, there's like a tide line on the side of the boat when it's empty versus when it's full. So this one's full. You can see where the tug is, like it's low down in the water. And the issue they have here in Newcastle Harbour, like that out there, it's very narrow, so it fills up with sand really quick. So there's a permanent dredge that dredges the harbour 24/7. It dredges it, holds it into the belly of the dredge, and then goes out to sea and dumps it, obviously in a strategic area. Okay, watch this. This is big. I can start to see the name on it. Atlantic Affinity. Atlantic Affinity. And that's probably heading off to China. You can see the tugboat coming up to the left, so there's one behind it as well. Yep, so this is live Newcastle Harbour. And in the belly of that boat's a ton of coal or a ton of money, depends which way you want to look at it. Don't quote me, but I think there's about 15 or 20 of these a day. Toby says you've seen videos of these splitting in half. Oh yeah, and the massive waves. I can't imagine. You can see, I'm going to have to zoom back a little bit. This ship's so big, it's almost taking up the whole screen on the width. But yeah, see there's a tug in behind it. I'll zoom in a little bit. There we go. Hope that's clear. And look at the length of that dog. It's huge, man. And this is just full of cash, full of coal. And they just go in and out. Look at the length of it. Yeah. It's so big. My phone's in horizontal. This ship is so long, I'm going to have to zoom back out. So if you just joined, this is a coal ship heading out of Newcastle Harbour in Australia. This is the world's busiest coal port. Ships this length just go in and out all day long. And you can see this one's sitting really low in the water because it's just loaded. Look at that. Off to China, exactly, Jacob says. Ship after ship. So a little bird just popped up. So they've got a couple there, but there's a tug on the other side, a tug or two on the other side. Look at that. Yeah, Atlantic Affinity it's called. It says on the front. I don't know if you can read that, probably not. And it's going to head out of that harbour right there. So these ships, they have pilots on them. So they fly out on helicopters. So this will have so it's got the skipper and all the crew on board, but it'll have a specialist pilot who knows this harbour exactly, because they've also got crosswinds today. It's not too heavy, but so they need to point the ship exact spot because this is a super shallow harbour, as busy as it is. Oh, there we go. Look at that chopper. See that chopper right there? That's going to go out and drop a pilot or a shipping pilot onto another boat. And then while it's out there, once this one gets out the heads, that chopper right there, they just go in and out of that heliport all day. That'll go and get this pilot and drop him on the next ship coming in. Because it's so narrow, they need to do the exact navigation through that channel, and the average skipper of a ship can't do that. You just need to know the water depths and everything about it. So that chopper is away. You've got the tugboat behind. Hear that? Looks awesome. Beast. Ferry behind it. Sorry, tugboat behind it, I should say. Away it goes to China. I don't know how, I think it's a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and then depends if there's a log jam. They probably sit in the port in China. They're just trying to wait their turn to get in. But look at the size of it. That's just full of coal, and it's going to go out that tiny little channel. But they've been doing this for years. Oh, look at those birds. That bird just caught something. What was that? Just pulled up a fish. I don't know if you can see that. But if you're into fishing, look how nice and clean the water is in the harbour. It's super clean. Now here comes that chopper. If you look to the right of that pole and up, 1 o'clock position, probably from the top of that pole, there's the chopper who's going to go and drop the pilot onto that boat. I beg your pardon, take the pilot off this boat, and there'll be another one coming in. They just come in and out all day in the distance there. You can see, there we go, that's the helicopter that drops them on and off the boat all day. That'd be a tricky job because the boat's, you know, bobbing up and down in the ocean, so they've got to land. The ship's moving around. But yeah, heaps of money just to go and take the pilot off this one and drop them onto a new ship. That'd cost a heap. So yeah, there they are. They're cruising out the harbour. But yeah, it's really nice down here. There's the ferry, and that goes across where the ship is, across to Stockton, across there. And there's just tons of ships down in the distance over there. This is like the world's busiest port, so there it goes. There's the lighthouse. What's the head? Down at Nobby's. There's the ferry that goes across to Stockton. So it's a beautiful harbour down here. Yep, so that'll head on out. The chopper will lift the pilot off that boat once it gets out, whatever it is, a couple of miles out to sea. Go and drop them on the next one that's coming in, and they just come in and out all day. And that other ship you can see in the far left there, that's called the David Allen. That's the dredge, and it dredges in and out all day long like a system. Dredges up the sand from this channel so these mega ships can get through. Goes and dumps it out to sea, which is obviously just done there. It'll come back through. So there's 3 tugs on that ship, and it would be, there's a crosswind from right to left. I've got it, it's from your screen, from right to left on the screen. So that pilot, the front of the boat was so long, as you just saw, that monster ship, the front would get pushed around a little bit. So they got those tugs there. It's like a laser guided missile up the center of that really narrow channel. Yep, the chopper's gone out there. It'll grab the pilot off this one and put him on the next one coming in. Pretty active harbour. You can see just here, that ferry, the Stockton ferry they call it. It's only about 2 or 3 minutes across to the other side there. But if you were to drive around, it'll take you an hour in peak hour traffic. It's pretty, you know, like any city, it just gets busier and busier. But if you just get the little ferry across, that one right there, just cruises back and forth all day, brings all the workers into the city. well, if you call it a city. The buildings here in Newcastle are all low-rise. I don't think there's anything over sort of 8 or 10 stories. And I think they like to keep it that way. And if you like a bit of fishing, look how clean the water is. Look at that. Super nice. Heaps of people walking along. I try not to film people, but there we go. Yeah, and the ship's cruising out, and it'll just be a matter of time before the next ship comes in. Bit of a tag team. But it's absolutely beautiful down here in Newcastle. Beautiful water. That's swimmable. Like, look at it, just, you know, just perfect water. Good for fishing. But even though there's tons of coal ships coming in and out all day long, the harbour is super clean. It goes up the harbour there, up to the Hunter River. Ming said hi, so light. Yeah, this water's so nice. And over there's the little narrow channel, Nobbies. The big old boats going out. There's the Tugs, there's 3 of them there. See if I can zoom in a bit. There, that's zoomed in a bit. I hope it's not too bumpy to watch. And then that's the head. And it's a beautiful afternoon. Taking the ship out. There's the Stockton ferry going across. And for some reason I just keep looking down at this crystal clear water. It's such a beautiful harbour. People walking along. Look at this. That there, it says Scratchley's. Really good food there. I hear it Miss Blitzkrieg. I hear an Aussie accent. Yeah, we're in Newcastle Harbour, Australia. This is the busiest coal port in the world, by the way. And that's a massive coal ship. We're looking at the back of it, but for those of you who were on just before when it came around the corner, this corner here, it was super long and just loaded with coal going off to China. And they come in and out all day long. So the helicopter just took off. Oh, there's fighter jets. I can hear it. I can't see it. I don't know if you can hear that. Just about, probably about 15 or 20 k's to the north of where we are. It's Williamtown Air Force Base. And that's where all Australia's, well, that's the main home of Australia's F-35 fighter jets. That's where they're mostly housed. And I just heard them go over, heard some jets go over. Off to Williamtown. So that ship there, doing a bit of a turn, slight turn. But yeah, the jets go to Newcastle all the time because of the RAF base Williamtown, it's called. And they have, I think Australia has about 70, I think it's 72 or something F-35 fighter jets that they've brought on, and about 50 of them are housed here at Newcastle Air Force Base. Oh, you can hear them, Jacob just wrote. So yeah, those fighter jets are they're awesome. They also have the East 7A wedge-tail aircraft, which is housed there as well. There's a few of those there, I think 4. And they're the ones with the big surfboard-looking thing on the top of the aeroplane. They look like a 737 with a big, massive radar on top. And they go out and guide the F-35 fighter jets. You know, they look for you know, look ahead to make sure the coast is clear. And they can also track targets of enemies in the water for like 400 square kilometres or something from one aircraft. Yeah, and then if there's something out there that looks sus, the that 7A wedge tail will go and steer the F-35 fighter jets to go and check it out. So if you just join, we're here in Newcastle Harbour. We just had the fighter jets fly over. That's why I just went on my little rant about fighter jets. Just waiting for a bit of activity. There's always something new. This is the thing about filming near the water. Something new always happens. Might see some fish busting up. They've caught. I've sat here and watched some guys fishing, and there's some decent fish in here because that's the entry to the ocean right there. So you'll see all the fish busting up, and you'll see them all go over to where the bust ups are and throw in a line. It's pretty cool. And right just there, that's where that helicopter just took off. That's the heli base for the ships. That's where the shipping pilots are. These are the guys and girls that go out and land on the ships and guide them through this super narrow channel. Because if you get, your average skipper who's come from China or wherever they're from, they're not getting through this harbour. They're not getting through this harbour by themselves. It is just super narrow. You'll probably see the channel because if you look at that ship, which will zoom in, there's a big, can you see an aircraft? Directly above the ship now. That's from a distance it looks like the big C-17. Yeah, I just saw like a full military aircraft, sort of up to the top right. I don't know if you can see it in the distance there. It's probably a bit far. Yeah, so there's a bit of activity going on here. It's quite good. I hope it's not too bumpy. I've got the camera on a gimbal, but what's going to happen is we're down at the harbour. There's all people walking along here. It's super nice. Crystal clear water down here, by the way. Good for fishing. You can see the tugboats have now broken away from that ship. So just as it gets to the mouth, obviously they have a point where it's safe. There is crosswind, but as you can see on the water, there's no white caps or anything, so it's not too bad. I can just feel it because I'm sitting here. It's on my back a bit. Hey, I appreciate the likes, by the way. Someone's hitting like. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so what's going to happen is you can see that ship starting to turn. And as it turns, you might get a little bit of a idea of the zoom in. Our coal ship scene. Because what they do, they come from down there where the trains are, from the coal fields, like out in the Hunter Valley region, Muswellbrook and Singleton. The trains come down here to Newcastle from there. Actually, there's a couple of tugs there. That might mean there's a bit of activity coming. But yeah, there's that big guy that just went out. Such a nice harbour down here in Newcastle. Just a matter of time and we'll see a bit more action. Something's always going on. If there's anything you want me to point at, write it in the comments if you know Newcastle. That's the right there is the Stockton ferry where everyone who's working in Newcastle gets on, and the ferry just goes back and forth, and that's it over there, that yellow and green, or cream and green, pretty weird colours. Looks like an old Sydney Harbour ferry. They probably bring them up to Newcastle from there. There we go. So now that ship is on its own. You can see the ferries have broken away. And there's the, I think that there is the ferry, the pilot chopper. Hang on, where is it? Hang on, I'll point it out. It looks like a bit of a speck at the moment. But that chopper is going to come and land just across the water from where we are. So keep an eye on this. It just looks like a dot right now, but there's the ships. Oh, there's the chopper there. Okay, if I zoom in, you'll see that helicopter. He's just hovering out there, just the other side of that spit or those trees you see there. That's the ocean, obviously, where this guy is heading. You can see he's heading in that direction where the helicopter is. So that chopper is waiting for this ship to land on it. He'll take the pilot off there, the guy who's guided him out of the channel. And then he'll grab that pilot and go, there'll be another ship around the corner waiting to come in because they're coming in there. And he'll go and put that pilot. And those, you'll see the tugboats are just sitting out there. So they're doing like a bit of a tag thing where they will, they're just waiting for their next ship to come in, which is just around the corner because the helicopter's hovering out there. I can see it out to the right above the red thing on top of the ferry. It's pretty small. But yeah, it's hovering, waiting, and those tugs, they're huge tugs, by the way. If you're still here when the next ship comes around the corner, they're monster. because those coal ships are so long. When there's a bit of wind or a bit of swell, it's pretty flat today, but they need to be able to hold the nose, you know the leverage of the nose of a ship. It would be in rough water and wind. It's pretty full on. So they're monster tugboats out there. And that one to the left, that's called the David Allen, and what it is, that's the dredge that dredges this channel 24/7. Like, that's actually what happens. So it goes up methodically, obviously GPS-based sort of dredging, and dredges the channel, fills up the belly of the boat, and goes out and dumps it. There we go. The coal ship's gone now. Goes out into the ocean, dumps it. Not 100% sure how they work out where they dump it, whether they build like another bank out there or something, or they just spread it out evenly. But the helicopter's right above that building, and it's waiting to go and drop onto the ship to pick up the pilot who guided it out, and he'll take him onto the next ship around the corner, which will come back in any minute now. And that's the Stockton ferry. There's quite a bit of activity now. So you've got the ferry, the dredge, the tugboats waiting to bring their next ship in. That's what they're literally doing. They're just sitting there waiting. Because that helicopter, which is kind of above that red marker, probably in the 1 o'clock position. Can I zoom in a bit? I don't know if you can see the helicopter there, but it's gonna drop down onto that ship that just went around the corner. Get ready for the next one. So there's a ton of cash goes in and out of this port. Tons of cash, tons of coal it is. That's what I actually mean. Just ship after ship loaded with the stuff. Now, speaking of the tugs, if you bear with me, there's one coming. Look at that, he's coming this way. So just when he gets close, he's gonna come pretty close to us here. You wait and see how big these beasts are. Because they need to be able to hold the nose of those ships. So while we're waiting for that tug, Jacob wrote half of our economy right there. I'll tell you what, it's a massive part of our economy when you see what goes on. In the Hunter Valley, where they get all the coal from that comes onto these ships, the trains are like, I think they're either 1 or 2 kilometres long. They're just so long. And every 15-20 minutes, a new one arrives at the port over there from sort of western New South Wales, Muswellbrook, Singleton, maybe 2 hours inland from where we are, from Newcastle. They just it's just trainload after trainload of coal. And that's been going on for like 50 years or more. Joshua says hello. G'day Joshua, thanks for joining. We're at Newcastle Harbour, it's Monday afternoon, just sitting here watching the ships come in and out. But here's one of the tugs that guide the ships, and they're huge. Oh, actually, there's another one behind it too. Just around that corner there. Let me just see. Yeah, see, there's another tug coming, and these are big tugs. And you can see there's 3 of them sitting out there behind that dredge that's coming towards us. There's 3 tugs that just took out that other ship, waiting for the next tug to come in. Waiting for the next coal ship to come in. That's how I know there's a coal ship just around the corner, because they're all sitting there waiting for it. It's a super narrow harbour, so this dredge that's coming towards us just dredges all day long. And you'll see that's probably going to come closer to us. If you stay on this stream here, I'll show you this boat. It's called the David Allen. And this has been dredging and dredging for decades. Because it's so narrow, all the sand and stuff comes down from gets washed in from the ocean. And these ships, they're so big and so heavy, they just go right down, and if that dredge wasn't here, it would shut down. The harbour would shut down, and we have to have this dredge right here permanently. And you've got, oh look, here's a tugboat right here. There we go, it crept up on me. Have a look how big this is. Look at this beast. So you've got that one going out, that one going out, and that one going out. And then there's another 3 out there if you look closely. So it's going to be interesting to see what's coming around the corner. But here's a nice close-up of a tugboat in Newcastle Harbour, Australia. Pretty cool. he's meeting up with, oh hang on, this one's coming around the corner here. Actually, this one coming around the corner, if you look, it's got like 2 rows of massive tyre looking, bumper bar looking thing. That one coming around the corner towards us is actually bigger than this one going out. But there's a heap of activity on the water now. Look at this. So you got these tugs. Look at that. 3 tugs, the dredge. Now, and what's weird about this, not this one, but look at that one over there. It's like this, it's a very slim, very modern looking tug or something. I don't know. Hang on, hopefully it'll come closer. Switzer Glenrock, this one's called. Some waves coming here, might get wet feet. But look at the size of that. Look at the nose on it. And that's what you need to be able to hold the nose of the big ships in high winds. Pretty nice looking tug, I've got to say. They just look chunky. And you see them actually on the harbour here. Like they'll line up and do 360s together, like, you know, like they're, you know, when there's a crowd, they'll just do like a dance for the crowd. But when you look at that one, and now look at this tug. This is like some sort of modern, looks like a new one. Like look at the front of it, it's like very slimline looking, very slick. I don't know why it's so slick looking. I don't think you need to be aerodynamic to be a tug. Them things are as tough as shit. Pirates selling heroin and cocaine, Booty Clapper just said. Well, apparently there's coal in those ships, as far as I know. But there's the big dredge that cruises up and down the harbour all day. But what we're waiting for, if you're online, is a big ship to come around the corner, because all the tugs are out there waiting and they don't do that for no reason. So just a matter of time. And I can hear the helicopter coming back as well. So the helicopter would have just dropped the pilot onto the incoming ship, who then navigates this narrow channel. Yeah, there's tugboats everywhere. If you just join, there's a big ship about to come through. I can't even see it. I'm not even looking at a radar or anything, a ship radar, but what I can tell you is the tugs are waiting, and that's all you need to see. Look at that thing. Look at the front of it. Any ideas, anyone, why that's such a slick looking tugboat? It actually doesn't even look that strong. It doesn't look like the other ones. Oh, look at that. It's like a big, it's got like a big awning, like a big veranda. That's a bit weird. You see through it to the other side. That's a weird design. And if you look over here, above that tug, here, there's the helicopter. That chopper is just about to land. You can see it coming down over to our left, which is I guess it's the pilot base. Here it comes. Look at that, he's getting lower. He's just going to land just across the water from us. Yeah, and that's where they all, in that building just there, that's where they're, obviously the chopper base, but that's where they have all their radars and screens and work everything out. It's just going to land on the other side, so we're going to lose it. But this is the epicenter of Newcastle Port, where we're sitting. And if you look at this ship off to the left, there's like, you might be able to see something hang off it, the big dredge lines, sucking sand up. Let's wait till it gets a bit closer. But it's sucking up the sand into the bottom of the boat. And then what happens is they go out into the ocean and the bottom of the boat just opens up. Jacob said, is that a solar panel on that tug? You might be right, it kind of did look like that. This one might come close to us actually, this dredge, and you're probably going to get a really good look at it. Heaps of tugs. And what that tells us, just waiting for it to come around the corner, and you're not going to miss it. It's going to be a monster. Stockton ferry going back and forth, back and forth. dredge in the background. So we're live streaming Newcastle Harbour in Australia. It's pretty relaxing down here. And by the way, this is like it's the first time I've done this. First time I've done a stream down in Newcastle Harbour. I'm sitting here, just thought, yeah, why not hit the button. For those of you who just tuned in, this is a massive dredge. It'll turn sideways. It actually looks like it's coming this way, so you're going to get a really good look at it in a second. And then in a moment, around that corner, a massive ship's going to come in. So we're just waiting for that. You can see all the tugboats out there waiting for it. But this boat here, it just sucks sand out of the harbour because it's so narrow, it just gets shallow really quick. And these, because it's the busiest coal port in the world for shipping, that's the whole width of it. So it fills up with sand really quick. So this guy here just sucks it all out. It goes up and down 24/7. It just keeps going. And they obviously have their tech on board that tells them where it's the different depths. I'm not sure how clear it is at your end, but if you can see that the hose is hanging off as we see it to the left hand side of the boat. They're just pulling up sand. Wonder what else it pulls up. They've probably seen some interesting stuff. They end in the so that's a response boat, the yellow one. It says response on the side. And there's another one there too. Bit of wind picking up. Of activity out on the water, and we're just waiting for a big ship to come around that massive coal ship. Just a matter of time. Those tugs have been waiting out there for a while now, so we'll watch that come in when it comes around the corner. The helicopter just went out and dropped the pilot on there, so that was another indicator that there's one around the corner. Actually, there's a like a flight radar. There's a shipping radar. You can see where all the ships are. You can track them live. There we go. Now, if you look to the right-hand side of that ship, you'll see the top of the incoming ship coming around that corner. It's going to come around that lighthouse, and I can see the front of the ship on one side of the dredge and the back of the ship on the other. So you wait until you see these. These are big ships, and it's actually going to. Just in here, it's going to come in really close, just in here, around this corner, and then down into there. So, we shall live stream a huge coal ship. Just sit tight. It's going to come around that corner. Feel free to ask a question if you want, or hit the like button, all of that stuff. Just sitting here, this is Newcastle Harbour in Australia, just cruising on a Monday afternoon. There we go, there's the back of the big ship, see to the right of the old lighthouse. So you can see the back of the ship, and then you'll see the front of it's going to pop out to the left because these are long. So that'll give you a pretty good indicator how big it is. I'll just keep it there. Now watch to the left where it dips down into the water. You're going to see the front of the ship. There it goes. Ship, and then it's going to come really close to where we're sitting. It just takes a bit of time. Those tugboats are going to see those tugboats out there. They're all waiting for it. Well, they're all together. There's like 3 there. But look at that. Now that's empty. You can see when you look at the bow of the boat, you can see it looks sort of like half red, half black. That's because it's empty. when that's full, like the one that we just saw go out, you'll only see the black, so that gives you an idea of how much the ship sinks down with how much coal it holds, all the weight. And if it wasn't for that guy there, that's the dredge. He just goes in and out. He's out of the way of the ship now. He just goes and sucks the sand out of the harbour. So there's a huge ship coming into Newcastle Harbour. And wait till it gets close. That's going to give you a real good indicator. Those tugboats you can see, they're actually really big. And you can see they're just dwarfed by the size of this ship. So this is a live stream of Newcastle Harbour in Australia, Monday afternoon. Afternoon where we are. I'm not sure where you are, but leave a comment or a like if you... that'd be sketchy in the middle of the ocean in big swells with a big load of coal. Jacob, you're still there, good man. Appreciate that. It would be, definitely. But they're just out there. It's amazing. They're just out there freaking in these mega swells. Oh, and just off to our left is another tug. But that one, that's not going out to meet this one. It's a bit late if it is. There's already some tugs out there. But if you can, just wait. Melania wrote, nice day for fishing it is. Hey Melania, check this out. Look how clean the water is. This is like super clean water. And look what's coming right here. Oh, actually, it's going to come past us, this tug, so you'll get a good look at it. And then this will cruise past us, and then before too long, that massive ship is going to come past us. So stay with us. Have a look at this. These are little tough nuggets. I don't know what engines they got in them, but geez, they got some serious power. Wait till you see this coal ship. I'll show you in a second. It's coming. But let's have a look at this for now. Very cool. Let's see what the name is. PB Murray, Brisbane, it says on the side of it in small letters. That's one of the smaller ones for sure. But still, that would have a bit of go, that one. And push any other boat around for sure. Maybe that's the one that just holds the rope at the back. Let's go around. There's the Stockton ferry, which is going to come across to that dock right there. But this is what you've just got to hold on if you can and watch this one. When he turns the corner where we are, you're going to get the full side-on view. It's going to be awesome. I think what I'll do next time is put this on a tripod. I hope it's not too bumpy for you guys. I'm trying to hold it still. Stay there, this ship. Actually, it's funny because it looks far away, but it's actually not. This massive ship coming in. You can see the tugboats. The ones on the left are going up to it now to put the ropes on. I don't know what those ones to the right are doing, but maybe there's another ship behind this one. Because they come in and out all day. You're going to get an awesome side-on view. It's pretty nice down here. Nice fishing. People walking along. It's pretty sweet. There's the dredge. And this one, this ship actually looks huge. Hoping you can stay for this. See, the dredges just stopped now. Sitting still waiting for this old big dog to go by. They've probably got some clearance sort of parameters to work with top of the ship is almost, the height of it's huge. Anyway, give it a few more minutes and it's going to turn this corner. And let's see what happens. Hopefully some more people will join. Definitely getting a sore arm holding this phone, so if a few more people join, that'd be good. Let's see. This is going to look so cool. Here it comes. Because they're so big and big and docile, they're just actually quite relaxing to watch. Oh god! I don't know if you can hear that in the background. Like a big jet just took off, or it landed, one or the other. That was from Williamtown Air Force Base. You can hear the jets. So we're just waiting for this monster ship to come in. It's going to turn sideways to the camera shortly. It's going to look awesome. You can see how nice and clear the water is. Got the fishermen there. Some guy fishing. Let's see if he's got his life jacket on. Yes, he does. Good man. Now this ship, when it gets a bit closer, it's going to fill up the screen. Not kidding. Look at that. This is pretty much as good as it gets down here. It's nice and calm, the water's clean, and these ships are mega. Because it's the busiest coal port in the world, it means all the big ships come here because they've just, partially because it's Australia and we're way away from everything, so they're not going to send small ones. It's got to be financially viable. They're sending these monsters to pick up the coal, and this one coming in is going to I think the turnaround time is under 48 hours. The coal's ready to go on a conveyor belt. They just slam it in. It just fills it up, and you will see the red and the black, the colouring on the ship, on the bow or right around the ship. That red will disappear underwater because it's going to be so loaded. I think it's kind of like an indicator too. They put that marker there to make sure that it doesn't get overloaded. But this is a really shallow port, and that's why that tunnel to the right there is dredging it the whole time. So shortly it's going to turn in front of us, and you're going to get a really cool perspective on how big this thing is. So it's a bit of activity. You got the ferry about to... There's the ferry. It goes across there, so I wonder whether it's going to get across the front of this ship, or whether it's going to sort of kind of hold off and go around the back of it. That ferry's got a ton of power. I reckon it'll make it. Go, go, go. Go, buddy. No. comes. You can see the side of that boat. It's like they've opened up the side of it. Look how exposed it is. Try and zoom in a bit. Like they dump all the sand out of there, so it's like a special design. Did you hear that? Monster ship needs a monster horn. We're going to wait for this one to go around the corner. This is going to be cool. Chungus among us. What does that mean? You're the only one online, so you can write it. Oh yeah, big, definitely big. Wait for this. He's going to turn around here. And it should be turning any second now, because there's not much. If it keeps coming this way, I'm out of here. Look, here's the edge here. I'm going to just zoom out a bit, give it a bit more stability, because that'll take up the whole screen when it turns. Take up the width of the whole screen. Let's go, buddy. Swing it round. I can hear it starting to rumble. I don't know if you can hear it through the phone or not, but she's getting close. Here it goes. I'm starting to see it move.
How much did it cost me a new sign?
Bring it around, buddy-o. She's a big dog. Jesus. I'll read the name on it when it gets a bit closer. Let's have a look. Yeah. Looks like it says Juno Horizon. Whatever that means. Look, as it turns, it's just going to fill up the whole width of the screen. Big boy, big fella. And you got this guy, he's starting to look pretty full. You can see it's the side of that boat's getting down near friggin' water level. Look at that. Back to this one. Whoa. There we go, look. It's taking up the width of the screen now. See if I can zoom out a bit, because that's a bit... No, I can't even zoom out. There we go. It's as good as it's going to get. Only a little tugboat on it, because there's not a whole lot of wind, I guess. I'll try and zoom in. You might be able to see the people up the top there. They're looking pretty small, just above the tugboat. guy doing a Yui. There's a tugboat behind it. You can see the rope. It's all the way that way. Alright, well I think that's going to do it for this stream. I think we've covered all bases. We've done the tugs, the big dredge. Look at the side of it. You can see the big ropes. The bigger ropes, big pipes. Suck it out there. Look at that, it's huge. Alrighty. Well, Jacob, you're the man, mate. You were watching me for most of that. That was much appreciated. See ya.